A little while back, I modeled this distillation apparatus, and it caught the attention of an individual who comes across science equipment in her job or studies, and she asked me how I would go about modeling this apparatus, which I don't know exactly what it is. It's very similar to a distillation condenser tube, and it might be that, just a different style. She apparently is coming from the 3ds Max world and wanted to know how I would go about doing it in Blender. So I don't exactly know, but I'm going to give it a try. All right, so here I am over in Blender 2.79. I've just deleted everything, and I've switched over to Cycles Render, and I'm in the front ortho view right now, and I'm going to give it a shot. All right, so I'm going to go Shift A, and I'm going to bring in a cylinder, and I'm going to switch the vertices to 18. I'll go into edit mode, and I'm going to rotate Y90, RY90, and scale this in the X a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to model the section with the holes, and then I'll do all the rest. All right, and the way I think I will do this is I'm going to go into wireframe mode, and I'm going to put down a couple of edge loops. I'm just rolling my mouse up like that. And I want to also put another edge loop in the middle here. And I am looking for a region, here let me go back into solid, with 4 squares like that. All right, so that I can create a circle. Now, there are different ways of doing this. This is the way that I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to select this vertex right there and go Shift S, cursor to select it, so that the 3D cursor is there. And I think it was there in the first place, but make sure it's on that vertex. I'm then going to bring in a circle. Shift A, circle, but I want to make sure that it's 8 vertices, and I will align to view because I'm in an orthographic view. It'll come in and it'll look that way. And I'm going to hit S to scale, and I'm going to scale it so that it fits within those 4 squares. Now that I've done that, I'm going to actually put another edge loop here and just bring it still closer. Not right on, just like that. Okay, now that that circle has been brought in, I'm looking straight on it. All right, admittedly I'm in the front view. I could have been in the side view. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to hit K for the knife tool, and I'm going to trace this out. I'm not actually clicking on the circle. I'm actually clicking on the surface of the cylinder, but I'm using this as a guide, like a stencil almost, but I'm not stenciling. And last one, and I'll click to accept. If I turn this, you will see that I've drawn, the yellow is on the cylinder. If I deselect that and Shift Alt and click that, that's the circle I brought in. I'm going to delete that. Okay, so I now have that on my cylinder. I'm going to switch over to face selection, and I'm going to select these 4 faces and X delete. Back into vertex mode, I'm going to select that point, and I'm going to go J to join. This one, let's get rid of that cursor, or gizmo, that one and that one, J to join, this one and this one, join, this one and this one, join, join, J for join, and this last one up here, join, just like that. All right, now I'm going to Shift Alt and click that, and I'm going to extrude, I think, inwards a little bit. E. I'm not certain about this, but I know they'll have some stuff going on in the middle. And I'm going to just stop it there, but I'm also going to Shift Alt and click that, and I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to extend it out a little bit. And at that point, I think I'll look down from the top, and I want these points straight along the along the x-axis, I guess. So I'm going to go SX0. No, that wasn't it, was it? The y-axis, SY0. Yeah, that's better. All right, okay. So I got that. I'm going to extrude out a little bit more, and I will be curving this in a moment. Let's also select it all and Control N to flip any polys that are not facing outside. So I now have a hole there with a bit of a cylinder coming out. Let's delete these faces. I could have got rid of those in the first place. Now, let's look down from the top and think about what we're going to do. I think I'm going to extend it longer this way, so that, if we go back to the diagram, not that one. This one, you see they come out and they curve and they come down, and then you get the length of the tube that way. So that's what we're going to be doing, the length of the curve that way. So I need to have this come out and start to curve. Well, we're going to have to do it this way. I'm going to hit E to extrude. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to pull it over a little bit. I'm going to rotate into Z. I'll pull it back, E, and pull it out a bit more and over, rotate into Z, E, bring it out, rotate into Z, E, one more, rotate into Z, and I'll go scale X0 to straighten it out. And then I'll take these guys and I'm going to rotate that in the Z a little bit, scale it in. Rotate this in the Z a little bit and scale it in. Rotate this in the Z a little bit and scale it in. I might put another edge loop there and scale it just a little bit. That's probably all right, just like that. Okay, let's grab the whole thing and shift Control plus to come back always, and I think I'm going to pull it just a little bit in. Let's have a look at what this looks like with a subdivision surface on it. Let's get rid of these faces here. Okay. My microphone's in the way there. And with smoothing. Okay. I think I'll leave it like that for the moment. And I always say for the moment, don't I? Maybe a bit more. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Now, does that look big enough? Yeah, you see them up there? Zoom way in, let's see how. It's coming out like that. Okay, something like that anyhow. So what I'm going to do as well to get it onto the other side is I am going to go into edit mode, select it all, and I want to sort of mirror this along the Y. So I'm going to choose mesh, symmetrize, and I'm going to choose plus Y to minus Y. Or minus Y to plus Y, whichever one works. And there, I got it on both sides. Okay. Hopefully those tubes are big enough relative to this. Yeah. Okay. All right, and from there, it's just a question of making the rest of the glass tubing. So I'm going to hit E to extrude, and I'm going to bring it out, and I will scale it in. And this is kind of up to your discretion, I think. A lot of these distillation, I'm scaling. tubes have different shapes. So you can do what you need to do, whatever you kind of think artistically, or you can try to get it to look like the real deal. I'm just putting in some edge loops and seeing how it's going to look depending on what kind of look I want this thing to have. I think I do like that. I think I want this much shorter though, like that. Alright, and then I'll put solidify on. And, you know, it's debatable if I do want that. I might want a scale shift X. Maybe, you know, maybe I don't want it like that. Just something like this. Nah, I think we will keep that, but we'll make this a little bit more of a lip, like this. Scale shift X to bring it down and just create something like that. I may grab everything in wireframe. Oops. Box select all of these and scale shift X and bring them back. Oh, and bring them back and do something like that. You know, whatever it is you really want to do there. But let's work on this end, and then I'll come back to that. So I'm just going to pull it along, and then I'll do something at this end. E, scale. Let's scale it in. E, and try that. E, we'll scale out a little bit. E. Edge loop in here, so there's a small thing like that. We'll come in here though and put another edge loop to tighten up the shape of this, and we'll get that. Now I like this better than I like that, and it took me less time, and so why not go into wireframe mode, box select all of this, X, delete those vertices. Box select all of these. Shift D. Rotate Z 180. Bring it down here. And the diameter is different, of course, but that's okay. Shift Alt and click that. Shift Alt and click that edge. So I got two edges selected. Control E, bridge edge loops. And then we'll just have a look at that. Okay, now I'll sharpen up this one. I'll bring an edge loop in, bring it closer. And I have similar ends. I'll make this a little bit different. Let's bring that a little tighter. And let's, in wireframe mode, let's grab all of these and just bring them closer. And let's deselect that, and let's grab all of this and bring it down here. And Shift Alt click that edge and do that. I'm also going to put another edge layer just for support. Okay, and let's have a look at this thing. Hope it's not too short. Okay, so the tubes would connect there, and I think I like the smoothness there. So I think I'll come in here, turn off this subdivision surface, and Shift Alt and click that, and just pull it out a bit and turn it back on to get a little bit less of a sharp end there. Okay, now hit N, and let's get rid of the grid display here on the bottom. But let's turn on ambient occlusion, but we'll leave it like that for the moment, as I always say. And let's try adding a glass material. All right, so there it is. In order to see that glass material properly, if I just hit Shift Z, all right, that's what it's starting to look like. We're also going to have to add a solidify to this. So let's go solidify and start looking at it. And I want to crank this up. like this. I just want to make sure we don't have any problems right here. All right, and I think what we'll do is, let me have a look at the end there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I am going to just go ahead and apply that, and it'll give me a little bit less than that. I'm going to put an edge loop in right here. I'll try one and see. I don't want it too sharp. Okay. Maybe I need one here. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I'll try one. Just coming up that much, so it is still kind of smooth. Look at those in a minute. Let's just come over to this. Very, very similar end. That, and an edge loop right there. You know, you might want it tighter. You might. I just, I don't know. Not too much. Okay, fine. We'll compromise on that. All right, let's come in here and see if we can do anything here. Control R and pull it to near the end and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, those are going to have a tube over them anyhow, so that's okay. Save that. So remembering this is a glass material, so in order to start seeing it, let's put an environment texture down. Let's split the screen by pulling there, T and T to close those menus. Let's come up to the node editor, N to close that side panel. And I want to put a world texture, an environment texture, with which will light the scene a little bit, and we'll be able to see the glass. So let's click on this earth there and scroll. I can use your mouse wheel and scroll until you see use nodes. Click. That'll put down some default nodes which you don't really care about. Go Shift A, texture, environment texture, and then connect the yellow dot to the yellow dot. Nothing is happening yet. We need to open one, and generally these are like HDR textures. So find an HDR texture on the internet, and I'm just going to use this one, which I often use. And that's it. Close this, and now if we have a look, go Shift Z, we will be able to see it. If I hit 5, you'll be able to see it sort of on the beach, and we can start having a look. The other thing I can do is just over here in the materials, or I could do it in the node editor. I just kind of want to switch this to a slight greenish color. Just it'll a little bit easier to see it for now. All right. So this is what we have, just using the glass and not the principled BSDF shader. And I'm happy with that. I think I'm happy with that. And so, if that is the case, I mean, we could throw this on a plane. Let's just try that instead. So it's not on a beach. Mesh plane, scale 8 for now. Let's just move this back here and up, so it's kind of resting on there. Okay, we'll scale this just more. And I'm going to put an image on this plane, so I'm going to pull this out again, and I guess I'm going to have to image map this. So I'm going to hit 7, and in edit mode I'm just going to hit U. I'll do project from view bounds, and then I'll switch over here to UV image editor, and I can see that there. And I don't have to do anything else here. I can just go to the node editor, and to close that, we have to give this plane a material, so make sure you switch back to the object, hit new, and we'll do Shift A, texture, image texture. I'm going to put an image onto that plane, and I will open something. Right, okay, and Blender, under textures, and I always end up using the same wood textures. I mean, I could try that. I just don't know how big that is. Is that very big? I don't think it is. I'm just gonna go to some of the stuff I usually use. I'll try that piece. I don't know how big that is, but all right. right, so I should be able to see it there. It's not scaled properly or anything, but if we just look, all right, let's yeah, it's not mapped very well or anything, but it doesn't matter. We're just looking. Let's bring in a Hemi. I like these lights, even though they're not really built for cycles. I just do. We'll just have a look and see if because we just want to see ours and see what it looks like. All right, we could try another surface just for the fun of it. Why don't we do that? Let's go back into the node editor, and if I X that out, you'll see there's nothing there. Let's just open up something else. I don't have a lot of textures. I'm gonna try this. Oh, jeez. Well, at least you can see it. All right, that's the whole point for the time being. So that is the tube. Of course, if you don't want to render like that, you can go Control B, like you're beveling, grab an area and then do your Shift Z, and you can just see that area, which is fine as well. Okay, and then to get out of that, Control Alt B. I'll do a quick actual F12 render, so we just see it a little bit clearer, so that we get ready to go on to the next step and see if this needs to be refined at all. All right, so I'll be back in a moment. So this is how it looks with a very quick render, and obviously I wouldn't keep it as green, I don't think, and all of this stuff can still be edited. Hopefully these tubes are wide enough, and if you needed them longer, you could do that. And again, I'm not certain about the connections. I'm not sure that there's a lip here, or if they don't sort of taper down, but you could easily do that. The next challenge will be to do the coil inside and to connect parts of that to each tube. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that, and when I got something that works, I'll come back and I'll video it. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, well, this is what we've got so far. We've made the glass tube, and now it's time to create the coiled part on the inside. All right, so that's what I want to work on now. And this part can be a little bit finicky in order to get it right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh, Plane, and I go into Edit mode, and Vertex. Let's move this stuff out of the way. Move it up here. Okay, I'm going to Edit mode. I'm going to get rid of these two vertices, and I'm going to take those, select them, and I'm going to go scale them in the Y. Just do something like that. From top view, I'm going to hit G, and I'm going to pull it down to just under the 3D cursor there. All right, so there they are. There they are. There they are. Let's look from there, and let's actually pull them down to around there. Okay, that's fine. All right, what we'll do is we're going to hide this, and we got that right there. I'm going to come over to the modifiers. I'm going to choose screw, and I'm going to get that. Let's set the origin to geometry. What did I do? All right, let's get back out of there. All right, there we go. And I am going to start doing this. All right, and I'll do a couple of iterations, And let's separate this out nicely. Okay, now what we'll do is we will bring back Alt-H, we'll bring that back. But I think I'll come to this and I'll come over to the box here and I'll come down to here, choose wire. Alright, so sort of see through it, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to rotate Y90. Alright, I'm going to start pulling it up. I'm going to look end on and try to center it. And then we'll scale. And I'll go back to the modifiers and I want to do that. Okay, so it's extending down that way. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to start, I want them spread out, but I'm going to add some more iterations, maybe not spread out that much. And this is the part that's a bit finicky. It's hard to get this exactly right. But we're going to go with something like that. And then I'm going to take a piece and I'm going to push it back through the middle and then connect them there, sort of connect them. So let's go ahead and hide that again, have a look at this. All right, let's make sure we're in solid view so we can see this. All right, I think I'm going to go with this. And so what I'm going to do is in object mode, I'm going to hit apply. And then I'm going to go into edit mode. And in edge selection, I'm going to choose either the outer or the inner edge all the way around. I'll go for the inner one. All right, so I got that selected all the way down. Then I'm going to go Control I, and then I'm going to go X to delete the other edges. So I have this. Now, Alt H to bring. I can't even hit a mode. Alt H to bring that other thing back. I could try Scale Shift X. Let's try that. Scale Shift X. Not on that, but on this. Scale Shift X. I'm going to be giving this some thickness in a bit when I convert it to a curve as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's hide this. Actually, no, we're not ready to do that yet. Well, we could do it anytime, but now I'll go into this in edit mode, and in vertex, here's my plan. This vertex at the end, I'm going to send an edge going down through the middle. So let's go to the end and see it, and I think I'll just go E and come straight back into the middle. Maybe even a little bit over to the side. All right, and then I'm going to start E, and I'll just kind of send this back through. We'll work on that end in a minute. Let's come back to here. Now these corners are too sharp, so I'm going to select them. And I'm going to go Control B as if I'm going to bevel, click, and then in the side panel, I'm going to choose segments. Usually it's at 1. I'm going to choose about 3, vertex only, and then start pulling this. So I see that curve. All right, so that'll be all right for that. And now we come back over to here. So what we're going to do is go back into object mode and Alt H, bring that guy back. And the idea is that not that. Let's by the way, that's the call that the cylinder. Actually, which one is that? Ah, that's the coil. I'll just call it coil. This other cylinder is the cylinder. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's bring that back. Well, I can do the rest of this in curve mode, so that way we'll be able to see what's going on. So once again, let's hide this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go Alt-C and convert this to a curve. Now the curve icon is there. We're going to choose full, and we're going to start cranking up the bevel and the resolution, and we'll hit smooth, and we'll do subdivision surface later. Let's go Alt H and bring that back, and now we can start to see what we're doing. We'll do that. Okay, in edit mode, I'll select that point, and I'm going to hit E to extrude, bring it up a bit more. Let's do this in top view. I'll bring it over a little. E to extrude, and I'm going to pull it over here. Grab both of those points, and I'll sort of center that up a little bit. Grab this point, pull it here. We get a bit more of a curve. All right. This point, yep. I'm going to hit E to extrude that one. I'm going to pull it over to here. I'll go to about there. E. And I'll pull it in a bit. E. And we'll come over to here. Let's go to edit mode and have a look at that. The general idea so far. Let's come back in. I'm just debating if I want to grab these points. Anything else selected? Do something a little bit different. Now that one there. Just to make it a little bit different. All right. All right. Let's have a look at this again. So these are going to join. But before I do that, I'm going to convert this back to a mesh. All right, now that I've done that, I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to select that edge. E to extrude, and I'm going to scale it out nice and big. Pull it forward a bit. E to extrude. I'm going to do that. I might come back and just globally scale it again. Now I want to have a look in here. Yeah, it's a bit too big. I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't want to be coming through the glass. Let's look in solid view for everything, and turn off the wire. Let's go back to solid. So it's sort of in the wall. All right, I can do more though with that. Not from that view though. I'm going to put an edge loop here and here because I'll be putting on a subdivision surface in a moment. I'm going to do something similar with this end. So we'll go back. Alt H to bring that thing back, and not that. Try that. Yeah. I guess I got wire on both of them. That's not what we want. We want solid on this, wire on that. All right. Let's grab this and pull it back. E, and we'll scale it out and bring it forward. Okay, so that one's coming coming through there. That's all right. Let's grab this and pull everything back. Let's go back to object mode. Control 3, I guess is different. I just want to compare these. Alright, that's alright. I should still be able to extend this a bit more. I mean, I could try to round them and stuff, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I guess it depends what kind of a job you want to do, you know. I just want to plug the hole and make it look like it connects. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go do a Shift Z there. Alright, that's roughly what I wanted to do. Now that'll shrink when I put on the subdivision surface. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so I don't have CD on yet. Subdivision surface. We'll do 2. And because we're going to make this glass as well, I'm going to have to do a solidify, but I don't have to do much. That's probably enough. Another thing that I'd like to do is this. And that. It's a lot of polys, but you know, it's glass. Okay. Well, you know, let's select this, and I'm going to give it a different color glass so that I can see it differently. That's basically what I end up with. You know, I was thinking of, all right, let's just knock that down a bit. Taking that in, that one and that one, and just scaling them. And they'll look a little bit different, but I guess I didn't get that one. Backtrack for a second. Oh, I did get that one. Maybe just those two. Just to do something different. All right. of smoothing on it. Yeah. That's fine either way. Bent piece of glass. Yeah. All right, and I don't want to put on too much of subdivision surface voltage, so bring that back. So if I go back to making this piece, this is the regular glass color. If it takes it. Yeah. I would have liked it to be thicker. But I think it's all right. Let's get it. Let's give me one more render preview. And then I'll do a render. We'll have a look at this. I think I might want to do it without that. It's just a little bit easier to see what we've created. Well, I hope this is what you were looking for. You can, design on top of that, and, do things a little bit differently. This gives you an idea of how you could do it. Again, I think these coils are too thin. They should be thicker. But it's a start. It's a start for how you could do this. So I'll pause this. I'll do a render, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Actually, I think before I do another render, I might as well do the tubes. All right. So what I would do here is just go into edit mode. All right, and select maybe this ring. And go Shift S, cursor to selected. All right. So my 3D cursor is there. And then I'm going to go Shift A and bring in a curve path. I'll pull it down here. I'll just do something very sort of simple and straightforward. Look from the side, go into edit mode, and then start bringing some of these points down towards the ground. A little bit like this. Pull this out. Try to get it to sort of rest on the ground. All right, and then what we'll do is switch over to curve, full, bring this up till I get a decent size and it fits over there. All right, and then I'll bring the floor back like that. We can go back in and edit this. Bring this piece up and this piece. Okay, I'm going to give this some material, sort of a orangey kind of a color. Let's just have a quick look at that. It's not bad. And what I might do is I'll copy this over to here because it's symmetrical, and just make a couple of small changes. Even that. Now what I would do is take this, so that's a curve, it's full, and I got that, I got that. I'll go Shift, Alt C, sorry, mesh, and we'll come in. Actually, before we do that, we'll add solidify. And then a subdivision surface of 2 with smoothing. And in face selection, I'll grab these faces and then Control plus a bit. Let's go into wireframe and see where the end of that tube is, if I can tell. Okay, so it's let's go like this. Scale Shift X, just a little bit, but I think we'll pull this up like that, which means I'll still have to look for the floor. It's all right. So I'll have that. Slide that one up. Doesn't have to be the exact same distance. That one is still a curve, so I'll see mesh. Solidify. Subdivision with smoothing. I'll go back and do that. Just put a couple of edge loops. And here, just select something, period, because I'm having trouble zooming around here. Let's select that face. I'll go 4 again. E, Scale Shift X, just a little bit. See how that's looking. Yeah, I don't want it too sharp. Let's come down to this one. An edge loop there. And one in here. So I would have that. Okay, without doing the clamps. Okay, so I'll work on a render and then we'll come back and have a look at that. And this is the render that I came up with after fixing a couple things up and putting on the tubes, making the inner coil sort of a greenish color just so you could see it a little better. And I guess I changed the background here, but didn't tile right. But anyways, so that's how I would go about making this thing. Certainly I could make some changes to it, but you know, it is what it is. So I hope that helps. See you later.